This conference will now be recorded.
A very good evening and a warm welcome to one and all present here. I'm Ms. Neha Mahajan, Executive Organizer on behalf of BioSetup Life Sciences. Take this honor to welcome our Founder Coordinator, Argedeep Das Sir, Event Coordinators, Dr. Sudeep Das, Dr. Kavita Pal, our today's eminent guest speaker, Dr. Arpana Parihar, faculty members, organizers, and all my dear student participants, I welcome you all for the webinar on the topic Computer Aided Drug Design Tool for Drug Development in collaboration with CSIR, organized by BioSetup Life Sciences. I hope you all are safe and doing good at your end. Before starting the session, a humble request to all the participants, please do not share your audio, video, screen sharing in order to avoid any kind of disturbance. If you have any doubt during the session, use the chat box. Filling of the feedback form is mandatory. Now, let me tell you about BioSetup Life Sciences. BioSetup Life Sciences is a hub of scientific research and learning approved by ISO 9001-2015 certified organization and also MSME registered under Government of India. We have multidisciplinary team of eminent and experienced faculty members and research associates that provide support to aspiring students in life sciences. We have successfully organized many webinars, workshops, internship programs, e-training programs, certification courses, career counseling, and competitive exam preparation, that is CSIR, IIT JAM, GATE P, IISc, and DBT. Now I would like to introduce our event coordinators, Dr. Sudeep Das and Dr. Kavita Paul. Dr. Sudeep Das is a lung infection biologist and human microbiome expert, a postdoctoral fellow, University of Lausanne, Switzerland, currently a holder of the highly prestigious Marie Curie Fellowship from the European Union. Dr. Kavita Paul. Dr. Paul is PhD, MBA, scientist at Advanced Center for Treatment Research for Cancer, Tata Memorial Center, Mumbai, India. She has vast experience in field of nano drug delivery, cancer biology, and clinical studies. Her areas of expertise are nanomedicine, drug delivery system, preclinical and clinical studies. Not taking much of your time, now I would request Ms. Wrinkle to introduce our today's eminent guest speaker, Dr. Arpana Parihar. Over to you, Wrinkle. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Our today's session will be handled by Dr. Arpana Parihar, ma'am. She is currently working as a women scientist B at CSIR Advanced Materials and Processes Research Institute, Bhopal, under the scheme of DST WOSB, awarded from Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. She did her PhD from Raja Ramana Center for Advanced Technology, Indore. Her doctoral research work involves evaluation of tumor selectivity and photodynamic therapy, efficacy of chlorine P6 through receptor-mediated targeted delivery in oral cancer. After PhD, she did postdoctoral research work at the Center for Biomedical Engineering, Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, which involves the enhancement of osteoinductive and osteoconductive properties of various implants made up of metals, ceramics, and polymers. Dr. Parihar is awarded with prestigious GATE, CSIR NET, DSTWOS-A, and WOS-B fellowship. She has more than 7 years of research and teaching experience at various prestigious institutes which fetched several peer-reviewed papers in national and international journals of repute. Her current research activity includes fabrication of biosensors for early diagnosis of cancer and infectious disease, molecular docking and simulation of drug designing, tissue engineering, targeted cancer therapy, and 3D cell culture. Now I would like to welcome our Arpita ma'am. Ma'am, please kindly proceed. Hello.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk on this topic, CAD. And my PPT is loading. I hope you all can see it properly. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're audible and your PPT is also visible.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. And now I will provide some brief introduction about computer-aided drug design tool, which can be used for drug discovery purpose. Recently, we are in the current cage of pandemic. I can say everyone directly or indirectly got affected by this pandemic, and due to a huge impact of COVID-19, um, computer-based research has gained momentum at a vast pace, I can say, because past 2 years, many of countries have facing quarantine and lockdown issues, and many of scientists are simply just sitting at home and doing nothing. So those who are expert in computer-aided drug designing tools, they did very well. Actually, they performed very well. They helped the community via their novel strategy of drug discovery. So if one can learn the CAD, that is computer-aided drug designing tools, based drug designing, one can do the research by sitting simply at home too. So if you are interested, this presentation is totally for you. Please be attentive, and if you have any sort of query, please ask. Feel free to ask me. I'm just starting, and okay. So what is the CAD? Actually, CAD is a computer-aided drug designing, as I explained earlier. This is a computational based method where computational resources or tools are used to facilitate the design and discovery of new therapeutic solutions. Okay, so drug design with the help of computer, it can be used for variety of therapeutic designing. Okay, so it can be of, basically it is divided into two types: structure based drug designing and ligand based drug designing, which can also be inferred in other ways, such as hit identification using virtual screening or hit to lead optimization of affinity and selectivity. So what does it mean that hit identification using virtual screening? Hit identification means first we have to identify our uh, just uh, just wait for a few seconds. Okay. Okay, so first we have to identify our target for which we want to design our drug. For example, take the latest example of COVID-19. There we know once researchers have elucidated the structure of target proteins for which they wanted to design the drug target proteins such as a spike protein and nucleocapsid protein. I hope everyone in this meeting is well aware about the COVID-19, so and SARS-CoV-2, the positive agent of COVID-19. So I'm not giving much detail about it. If anyone is interested, I will talk in detail after this presentation. Okay, so if one can know the target proteins for which we want to design the drug, we can design the we can actually use the computational tools to design the drug. So in that case, it is known as structure-based drug design because we know the structure of protein and we wanted to identify a drug which can block that structural protein or a structural target of the infectious agent. So this is come under the category of structure-based drug design. And suppose we don't know the structure of protein. For example, when SARS-CoV-2 appears initially at the initial stage, people don't know about the structure of spike protein and nucleocapsid protein. So in that case, we don't know the structure. So people follow the ligand-based drug designing tool. How it can be applied? For example, we don't know the SARS-CoV-2 virus structure, viral protein structure, but we know its siblings or closely associated viruses. For example, MERS and SARS-CoV. They are closely associated with the SARS-CoV-2 and they caused the epidemic earlier in 2002 and 2012. So, researchers learned the lesson from those viruses and they just know the which drug is effective against those viruses, and similar to that drug, one can identify the lead hit drug candidate for the current SARS-CoV-2 virus. So this is known as the ligand-based drug design, where we don't know the target exactly, but based on our past experience. Yes, yes, please. Am I audible?
Yes,
Please
ma'am,
confirm.
you're audible. Humble
Okay,
request to all
so based
participants, please do not unmute yourself. It is causing disturbance. Please, it's a humble request. Otherwise, I will excuse you from the meeting.
okay, so this is what I have explained just about the ligand-based drug designing. So in both sort of drug designing, we just screen the number of molecules using computational tools, identify the binding site using docking, molecular docking method, and then we just select our lead compound. So this is the general flow chart for drug designing using computational method. Do you know how much time one drug takes to come into the market? Earlier, before this pandemic, one drug took around 10 to 15 years to come into the market. Okay, and this pandemic actually created havoc around the globe, but it also taught us many things in terms of better preparedness for future pandemics and for other disease conditions. And what are the benefit of this pandemic? That nowadays one drug can come into the market within 1 to 2 years if by using the computational approaches and other collaborative cumulative research work. I must say research collaboration in terms of drug designing and therapeutic approval is must for for getting some drug approved for a particular type of disease condition. So what is the drug discovery and development timeline? Earlier, actually, 6 to 10 years, it would take 6 to 10 years around for target selection, then for lead discovery. For target selection, for example, if we want to search the drug against some target protein of Alzheimer's disease. Okay, so first we have to select the biomarker or the main target of target protein which is responsible for the Alzheimer's. Okay, for COVID-19, we should know about which protein is the major or mainly responsible for the disease condition. Then only we can take the drug or other we prepare the library to screen the lead compound. Say for example, we have a library of 10,000 compound. For example, we procured the library from we took the library from PubChem or some other online commercially available websites where some drug or chemical is named for this is used for earlier influenza virus or for hepatitis virus or HIV viruses. We can select all those drugs, prepare our own library, and then this library we have to screen the compound for our present existing target. Okay, and after screening, suppose we come up with 250 compounds. Okay, so these 250 on these 250 compounds we should follow the preclinical route for in or we can using some cell lines or some in vitro models, and um, then these come out of these 250 compounds, those who performs good, we can take them to clinical trial state. Say for example 10 compounds perform good in vitro assays or in vivo studies, then these 10 compounds will enter into the clinical trials, and these 10 compounds, after proving their efficacy in humans, one or two usually one or two got FDA approval for a particular disease condition. So this is the overall drug discovery timeline and the overall time period. But now, just because of this pandemic, this time gets shortened, and around, if one can have a proper drug compound library, then one can reduce this 10 to 15 years time to 1 to 2 year time period. Okay, now coming back to the some basics of these drug design approaches. As I told you that it is either structure based or ligand based. In the structure based drug designing method, we know the structure of target protein, and we have to select our ligand library based on those structure of compounds. Say for example, we know the structure of spike protein. We know the spike protein is bound to ACE2 receptor in human lung epithelial cells, which is expressed over the human lung epithelial cells. And if we block the binding of spike protein of SARS-CoV-2 to ACE2 receptor, then we can inhibit the virus entry into the epithelial cells, and probably we can stop the spread of infection in a particular condition. Okay, so people wanted to design an inhibitor against the spike protein. So one should know the structure of spike protein now. Then only we can decide or design the ligand against that particular protein. So you can download for computational analysis. You can nowadays lots of um, uh, X-ray crystallographic based structure of spike protein are available at RCSB PDB data bank. You can download that structure from there, and you can use it for your structure based drug designing purpose. So this is one example for a structure based drug designing. Another one is ligand based drug designing. For example, suppose in the near future, some mutant strain of this SARS-CoV-2 suddenly arises, then we don't know about, although we know about the symptoms, but we don't know about the structure of any of the protein, because to be very frank, to elucidate a structure using XRD or X-ray crystallography study, it takes time. Okay, and when we don't know the structure of any target protein, how one can decide which drug may be suitable for that disease? So in that condition, we can take whatever drugs are available in the market, and using computational tool, we can just based on the prior knowledge and symptom condition of that uh, disease, we can use the pharmacological approach or ligand based drug designing approach to come up with a lead hit drug molecule. Okay, so in this way these methods can be integrated and can be implemented for the pandemic, for dealing with the pandemic. Integrated method, in these method, in ligand-based drug designing, we should know the pseudo receptor, okay, or pharmacophores fingerprints. Otherwise, we would not be able to do the drug designing research. In structure-based drug designing, the screening can be done by using molecular docking tools or similarity-based approaches, and this can again integrated with the molecular dynamic simulations. I will describe it in detail in my later slides. So this is overall how one can actually exactly do the ligand-based drug design or structure-based drug design. In ligand-based drug design, as you can see here, you don't know about the structure, okay, structure of the target, and but you have the hint of symptoms or some closely related um, virus or infectious agent signature. On the basis of those signature, you can predict the descriptor using the machine learning tool or deep learning tool. And nowadays there are lots of scope in AI, machine learning, and deep learning based method which can be better fitted for those diseases for which we don't know about, we do not know the target, okay, for which we are targeting, like, okay. So based on that approaches, kernel methods, you can make your algorithm, and you can screen a ligand for a particular disease condition. And for structure based drug design, it is a bit easier, and you people can also try this, as I told you. Like for example, this I had given you the example of this SARS-CoV-2, where the crystal structure of spike protein and nucleocapsid protein, and almost 10 to 12 proteins of SARS-CoV-2 has already been elucidated, the crystal structure, with the help of extracrystallographic method. And these based on these crystal structure of protein target, one can analyze the binding pocket, and if you know the stoichiometric or amino acid content of binding pocket of your spike protein or nucleocapsid, you can easily screen your molecular library of drugs for inhibiting that binding interactions. Okay, so this is overall about, I hope it is clear, and if you have any query, you can ask me. Okay, so to get little bit deeper inside the ligand-based drug designing, you can see this diagram here. There is a putative target protein on which a binding cavity is appeared, and this binding cavity, based on the prior knowledge of this binding cavity, software can predict. Okay, this is known as quantitative structure activity relationship, QSAR analysis. The pharma person better know about this. The QSAR relationship can predict the number of hydrogen bonding donor, number of hydrogen bond acceptor, number of lipophilic group, size based on the size of the molecule, charge, positive or negative, or electropositivity or electronegativity of the functional group or any other group in the ligand. The software can predict whether the ligand can properly fit inside the binding pocket of the target or not. So quantitative structure activity, that is QSR based relationship, actually calculate the properties of a molecule and their experimentally determined biological activity, which can be used to design your drug of interest. For example, if I can just explain you in bit detail, for example, remdesivir is earlier approved for some other disease condition, but now everyone is actually aware about that remdesivir can be used for SARS-CoV-2. Okay, how one reached at this conclusion that remdesivir can use for SARS-CoV-2. Okay, just based on the computational method and the structure activity relationship. There are many papers in the literature. I'm not telling you that it is the for sure method to for getting approval of remdesivir, because lots of people did lots of research to come in the conclusion that remdesivir can be used for SARS-CoV-2 infection, and it is a bit, although not the 100%, but in 70 to 75% cases, it is fruitful to use that remdesivir injection. Okay, so if we know, I'm just giving you just an example that if we know the ligand and its functional group, then based on the quantitative structure activity relationship, one can predict its activity to the new analogous target. Okay, and in this way you can discover a drug from already available approved drugs. So if you already have the approved list of FDA approved drugs for a particular disease condition, you can make a library from there and you can screen those drugs for any new disease condition, and if you find your lead hit, you can publish a paper. Similarly, in this structure-based drug design method, actually knowledge of 3D structure of biological target is already available based on X-ray crystallographic or NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. One can screen his or her drug library or chemical library of drugs. If what happen if we do not know the structure of target? Can we prepare it by using computational tool? Yes, there are software available and some of them are freely accessible where you can make your target protein using the approach of homology modeling. Okay, you can use Robetta, Swiss Modeler, for RaptorX for modeling any protein if you know the sequence. But the condition is what? You should know the sequence of your target. If you know the sequence, whether it has some missing amino acid residue, these available freely, few of them are freely accessible. These software can make a 3D structure, 3D model of your target. So homologic modeling, also known as comparative modeling of protein, refers to constructive and atomic resolution model of the target and an experimental three-dimensional structure of related homologous protein. So let's see some overview of cat funnel model. First, you have to actually dig the literature and various databases for making your library. For example, I said that you can take molecules which are already approved, FDA approved. You can take the molecules and prepare your own library of, say, for example, 10,000 people. Like pharma companies have the drug library of around 1 lakh or 2 lakhs compound too. Then drug library, out of these drug library, you first screen the compound based on ADMET profile. ADMET is absorption, digestion, metabolism, excretion, toxicity profile of a particular ligand. Once you find the molecules of having favorable ADMET compound, you can use those molecules for screening for your screening purpose. Okay, so here I put just an few mixed softwares like Schrodinger and Discovery Studio. They are the, however, their visualizers are free, but they are paid software and they charge they are a bit costly actually. So based on their high throughput virtual screening module of Glide or Discovery Studio, you can perform your initial screening using molecular docking, and then if you got some lead molecules, say for example 5 to 10 molecules, you can perform molecular dynamics. For molecular dynamics, you can use GROMACS, which is freely available, but you should have HPC system for performing GROMIX, or you can opt for a paid version of MD simulation using Yasara. You can also do the same study using QSAR, quantitative structure activity relationship, and although these both the methods actually after screening you should do the docking and dynamic simulation, then finally you will came to conclusion of potential lead molecule. So what are the recent trends recently in drug design and discovery? One should know the 3D structure of a particular compound. Then via molecular docking and virtual screening, one can get the lead molecule, and by using molecular dynamic simulation, one can see whether the lead molecule is stable at the binding pocket of the protein, and one can also calculate the binding free energy using some available software, or by performing the MMG-BSA method. And this is all about the structure-based drug designing method. The another one is ligand-based drug designing method, where one should know the QSR, that is quantity structure activity relationship, and toxicity prediction. Then QSR and using some machine learning method, AI and big data. Upon AI and big data analysis, one can reach to the lead to hit identification. So how molecular docking actually work? Actually, identification of ligands, current binding geometry, that is the pose in the binding site, is known as molecular docking. It is just like enzyme ligand. You must be aware about that lock and key model. It is just similar to that. You know the structure of protein, and you know the binding pocket. You just define your binding pocket, and ligand go and sit that on that binding pocket, and the software will calculate the binding affinity of ligand with the binding pocket. The lowest binding affinity molecule is most probably considered as the inhibitor of that particular protein. But this should not reflect the actual inhibitory constant. One should actually either validate it by using some algorithm, or one should perform in vitro or in vivo assay to verify its activity. Another crucial step before molecular docking is if you download the protein structure crystal 3D structure of your target from the RGSB PDB data bank, you should optimize it first and remove the extra water or extra molecules, and energy minimize it, and then this molecule is ready for your CAD based drug designing. You can do the protein optimization and energy minimization using Schrodinger suite, Discovery Studio, Swiss PDB viewer can also be useful, and Autodoc tools are also can also be used. Ligand optimization is also necessary. One should know the 3D, one should actually know the structure of ligand, and the 2D structure should be converted into the 3D structure before performing the docking. And this can be done again using Schrodinger, Discovery Studio, Avogadro, or Autodoc tool. These upper softwares, they are paid. The lower one, they are free of charge, and anyone can download and use these. After docking, once you perform the docking, you can perform the molecular dynamic simulation to see the conformational stability of your drug protein complex. For example, you have the docked structure, your protein and your ligand, you can see here, and then you can subject your complex for MD simulation using Yasara or GROMIX. Then say for example, you can fit a 100 nanosecond molecular dynamic simulation regime under water and TIPP model conditions. Then if you got the RMSD fluctuation within the 5 angstrom deflection range, then you can um, confirm that, or you can say that your drug and protein complex is behaving stably under the physiological conditions. So MD simulation generally told you that how your complex could behave under the physiological conditions. And you can also find out the hindrance potency of interaction of your drug target activity using MD simulation. What is actually quantitative structure activity relationship is itself a big topic, and we can't finish it in this session. So we can have another session for explaining this in detail. But in brief, in QSAR, we have a molecular library, and we will generate the data sets, and data sets such as test and training set. And the test and training set were subjected to machine learning model. Then we validate our model, and then we predict the activity of a compound using some algorithm, and then biological activity prediction can be done. What are the advantages of CAD? Actually, CAD based drug designing is I must say it is less time consuming, cost effective. It is in many cases it is accurate, and it gives information about the disease. Screening time is reduced. Database screening actually validate our results, and less manpower is required for CAD based drug design. I think it's hanged. It's not moving. Let's wait for a few seconds. It's just. One
This
can
conference
perform
will
the
now be recorded.
computer-aided drug design. I can just tell you that you can use these computational software to perform your basic research of drug designing by sitting at home, and you can play around with the software in order to learn it better. And the freely available software, about freely available software, I made few slides there after this, where there are lots of lists. One can, if you are interested, you can just inbox me. I will let you know what software you can use to do your computer-aided drug designing research. For example, for protein structure download. Oh, it came actually. Oh, okay. So I'm just stopping screen share and just discussing,
This
continue afterwards.
conference
If
will
I
now
read,
be recorded.
then it will actually it will take much time. And okay, you can ask me a question and we can have an interactive session. As I
Ma'am,
told
there are
you,
few
you can down,
questions in the chat.
just I'm just giving you a brief. Then you can ask question one by one. You can download your protein structure from RCSB protein data bank. Okay, and that protein structure you have to cure it, that is optimize it or energy minimize it by using either free software like Autodoc tool or paid software like Discovery Studio or Schrodinger suite. There are many more also. Online servers are also available like PatchDoc, HatDoc, but one cannot rely over the feasibility of the process using online server. But if you are well expert in this field, you can use them too also. Okay, so for protein, you can use RCSB Protein Data Bank, and for ligand, you can download structure from PubChem. Okay, so from PubChem, say for example, you type remdesivir, you will get the 2D structure or 3D structure of remdesivir. Download it in the form of SDF. You can use Chimera USCB software to convert those structure into PDB, and you can use Autodoc tool to convert the PDB structure into PDB-QT, which is the acceptable file format for Autodoc tool for docking purpose. Once you have your ligand, pre-processed optimized ligand and protein file, you can perform docking using Autodoc tool or Discovery Studio or Schrodinger. Then after docking, if you get your lead molecule, then you can use those docked complex for performing molecular dynamic simulation to check the stability of your docked complex. And then once you confirm that your molecule is stable, you can use it for further in vitro and in vivo study and further validation. Okay, that's it for today's presentation. Now you can ask question.
I request participants, please do not unmute yourself. I'll be taking your questions one by one and ma'am will be answering. Ma'am, the first question
Yes, please.
First question is from Rishikesh. He's asking, can we use VMD and NAMD for MD simulation?
Yes, that can be used. And NAMD is actually used for bigger protein. Okay, if you have your target protein very big size, your target protein is of very big size, you can use NAMD.
Ma'am, the second question is from Dr. Irfanullah. What is the difference between structure-based drug design and ligand-based drug design?
As I explained in my talk, that structure-based drug design, you know the structure of your target protein, okay, but in ligand-based drug design, you don't know about the exact structure of your target protein, but you know that a particular drug is effective against a particular condition. Okay.
Next question is, what are Autodoc tools?
Autodoc tool is a software which can be freely downloadable. You can download it and learn tutorial and perform the docking using Autodoc tool.
Okay. Next question is for Dr. Dhanalakshmi. She's asking, which database is helpful to calculate binding free energy?
There is actually there are only few software available which can give you direct binding free energy. One is Discovery Studio, another is Schrodinger, and one is freely accessible. Please inbox me your question. I will send you the link of that software. But because it is huge, it requires huge computational efforts to calculate the binding free energy, and via molecular dynamic simulation and after that running MMGBSA based algorithm, you can find out the binding free energy. You can calculate actually.
Okay. Next question is, how to find binding pocket of protein?
Okay. For that, you can perform the virtual screening or blind docking, or you can use the literature too. Okay, in literature, for many target protein, for example, for SARS-CoV-2, binding pocket is already defined by so many researchers. This is the one way to use literature, or another way is to perform blind docking using Autodock tool, where you just select a majority of area um, using your software, where your ligand go and roam and find out the best fitted site where it can fit, and you got your ligand protein complex. Based on that blind docking, you can get some idea where your ligand most probably fit happily. Can you get my point? Okay.
Okay, next question is, what are the disadvantages of CAD?
Disadvantage. Okay, the main disadvantage of CAD is some researchers are rigid. Actually, they like molecular docking is a tool where if you want to fit a, a big molecule, then software will do it. Software do not have its own brain there, na. You should apply your logics to nowadays artificial intelligence based technologies have they use some instinct actually, but if you do not use your instinct and just perform docking blindly, then you can land up in wrong path. Okay, or you will supposed to take a wrong molecule as a your lead hit, and there are lots of failure stories already available in on internet or another website, where people actually have started with 1 lakh molecules and they land up with one molecule that this is the most potential molecule against a particular disease, but after in vitro or in vivo validation, they prove to be wrong. So this is the main disadvantage of CAD, that you don't know whether you are doing right or wrong until and unless you have multiple checks to validate your target protein and your ligand as well.
Next question is from Radhika. She's asking, drug design is possible for nanomaterials through these tools?
Yes, there are actually few softwares like Schrodinger has recently um, launched its material Schrodinger suites, where you can dock the nanomaterial against a particular target.
Okay. Next question is, what is the basic condition of forming mutants or variants of that particular virus?
Basic condition. Please repeat the question.
What is the basic condition of forming mutants or variants of the particular virus?
I can just explain you by taking an example. For example, in case of SARS-CoV-2, there are many mutants and variants are available. Okay, and how one can know these are mutant? Like in its spike protein, some people, structural biologists, deduce the structure using X-ray crystallography, and they know, oh, okay, in this amino acid, in place of this amino acid, this has got replaced. Okay, so this is the one way to know the mutant or variant, and another software based approach is there also, where you can do the mutant analysis by changing the amino acid residue manually using software.
Okay.
Like you can use SwissDB tools to make your mutant strain.
Okay. Ma'am, what is meant by FAD approval?
What?
What is meant
FDA
by
approval.
FAD?
F okay, FDA. No, actually, it should be FDA. That is your Federal Drug Authority, FDA, full form FDA. Actually, you can type it on Google. FDA is an agency which actually provides the approval for a particular compound after assessing its all results. One can say in vitro, in vivo, clinical on human test. So FDA is an agency which actually assess all the results and provided you approval that now this compound can be used for clinically as a drug. Okay. For example, FDA provided an approval to remdesivir to be used for COVID-19.
Okay. The next question is, our ligand library should be made on the basis of symptoms of disease?
Yeah, ligand-based drug designing is exactly for that only. Okay. For example, before SARS-CoV-2, there are epidemics of MERS and SARS, which are closely associated with SARS-CoV-2, and people have some idea that this drug uh, would be used at that time, then we can use this drug for SARS-CoV-2 also. Although, since the structure is bit different, structure of target molecule of SARS-CoV-2 is bit different from MERS and SARS. So 100% accuracy we can't predict, but based on previous knowledge of symptoms, one can use some drugs. Okay.
The next question is, ma'am, why is QSAR used in ligand-based drug design at an earlier step, whereas in structure-based drug design it is used almost at the end steps of the procedure?
See, I already have given this explanation earlier, but I will repeat it in brief. For example, SARS-CoV-2 infection spread in late December in 2019. Okay, people know only symptoms. They don't know anything about the virus until and unless the first crystal structure of that virus deduced. Okay, so how one can predict that which drug is most probably used in that situation? So based on symptoms of the disease, people prescribe. Say for example, we Indians, we had given lots of Ayurvedic medicine based on just cough and cold symptoms, na? Like turmeric based curcumin and all. There are lots of research just based on the symptoms and prior knowledge of some similar disease condition. People use ligand based drug design at the primary stage, and later on, once structures are available in the databases, one can get more specific drug candidate by screening the available drug against the particular target.
Next question is, can we publish the paper after using the free softwares? Dr. Sunil Kumar
Yes,
is asking.
yes, absolutely. One can publish, and there are almost more than lakhs paper on SARS-CoV-2 on this cat-based drug designing alone, and you can access most of them freely from Google Scholar or PubMed. And but you should have a good knowledge about the software, and you should be able to answer the reviewers' comments if you got.
Okay. If there is any other tools other than CAD for drug discovery.
No, CAD is a process, okay, and it is a group of tools. Like I told you about the Discovery Studio, Schrodinger, and there is Autodoc tool, okay, and many other softwares are also required to perform a complete drug discovery, that is drug discovery process. For example, one should have PyMol to visualize the compound, Chimera to visualize the interaction, uh, and to convert the file into the suitable format which software can accept. And one should have Swiss PDB viewer to optimize its protein. So various softwares are needed, and those softwares are known as tool.
Okay, the next question is, ma'am, there are few participants who are asking for these softwares, the names of the few softwares. If you can put it in the chat box, they are asking. The next question is, what is the best software for using docking? It's asked by Supriya Nayak.
Uh, Best software for using docking. Best
Yes.
software is Autodoc, Vina, okay, and it is freely available. I'm just putting it to here in chat box. You can download and play around the software.
Okay. The next question
Yes, please.
is vaccine development come under drug development? Is drug development and vaccine development the same? And if not, could you please differentiate between the both?
Okay. See, they both have some similarity, but they are totally in different area, I must say. Like vaccines are actually using immunoinformatics, if I can say the computational tool, using computational tool or immunoinformatics based approaches, one can design vaccine. Okay, there are lots of paper available where you should know the structure of protein first. For example, for SARS-CoV-2, um, you can use spike protein, nucleocapsid, and other ORF and NSP12, NSP8 to design your vaccine. Peptide based vaccine designing. So one can design, okay, but these both are totally different. Vaccine can give you long lasting, vaccine provide you long lasting immunity towards a particular infectious agent, while drug can give you a short relief only. Like if you inject remdesivir someone who have COVID-19, it will give you immediate relief, but it will not assure you to protect you against futuristic infection. For that, you have to vaccinate yourself. So I hope the difference is clear.
The next question is from Charushila. She's asking if we are knowing the structure that we design and its ligand also, then which approach will be used for design?
We know the structure of ligand and protein too. Please repeat.
The question is, if caller 92, kindly mute yourself. The question is, if we are knowing the structure, the design and its ligand, then which approach we will be using?
Can use, see, if you have the structure, known structure, we can use the high throughput virtual screening. Okay. And we can also perform this screening using Autodoc tool too. Okay. If one cannot afford the paid software like Schrodinger or Discovery, we can use Autodoc tool too. For that, you have to just see the tutorials and play around with the software to learn it.
The next question is there is any disadvantage of CAD?
Yeah, CAD is something which is totally computational. You have to validate your result in some in vitro and in vivo model. You cannot totally rely on the CAD, actually. This is the fact.
A humble request to all the participants, please do not unmute yourself. Okay, the next question is, which software used for calculation of QSAR of molecule?
See, for QSAR prediction, there are lots of databases available actually, and I myself actually did it once or twice using Discovery Studio. Once I got the access of Discovery Studio, so I performed QSAR based study. But you can, I'm sure you can get those free links by putting your query on Google.
Is Remdesivir is from CAD?
I cannot say this clearly, but remdesivir has already got approval for another disease condition, and someone used this virtual screening platform, and there are lots of publication available, which shows that remdesivir is a better choice for this, for SARS-CoV-2 treatment. And in fact, the crystal structure of RDRP, if you download from RCSB PDB data bank, it is docked along with this remdesivir. So when you download the protein structure from of RDRP from RCSB protein data bank, you can find it with coupled in conjugated with remdesivir only. So there one can take the idea that people have performed the virtual screening earlier, or X-ray crystallographic study by using remdesivir as a potential tool, as a inhibitory molecule of RDRP.
The next question is how the validation is done at last. What are the tools or softwares used for that, for validation?
Well, if you perform molecular dynamic simulation of your lead molecule coupled with your target protein, you are validating your complex that it is stable under physiological condition. So this is the one step of validation using in silico tools, that is MD simulation. Okay, and when you wanted it to test for further efficacy, you have to perform in vitro studies on cell line. For example, for COVID-19, people have used this Vero 206 cell line to study that their lead molecule whether inhibit the infection in those cell line or not. So this is the example of in vitro validation. And if you wanted to test it for in vivo results, you have to actually see the efficacy in some animal model, either in rat, monkey, or rabbit, or gorillas, whatever you can afford, or you have the approval. Actually, for doing the in vivo studies, you should take the approval from ethical committees first.
Okay, we'll take last two more questions and then we will wind up. Are there any specific software tools tailored towards prokaryotic molecular drug designing? Do this whole thing is expensive? Can anyone step up its own just like a personal lab?
Yeah, the last question, that is, yeah, you can set up your personal lab. Okay, if you have funds, you can set up your personal lab and do the drug designing. And the previous question has the answer. You can use the computer-aided drug designing tool for designing drug against any entity, against bacteria, against viruses, against plant pathogen too, if you want. If you have the setup, you can use these tools to design your own drug against any disease or against any infectious agent.
Okay, the next question is SPDD, how we design our ligand library.
Ligand library. See, for designing a ligand library, you must have knowledge about the disease. Okay, say for example, I'm taking the just recent example to let you more familiar about the condition. Let's say, for example, you want to prepare a library to find out the drug candidate against COVID-19. Okay, and nowadays you actually there are lots of molecules are has got approved, but in earlier situation, there are lots of drugs which are already under trial or under usage for the influenza, for previous MERS outbreak or SARS outbreak. Based on literature, you can collect the name of those drugs, you can download their structure from PubChem. This is the one way to prepare your own library. Got it?
Yes, ma'am, we'll take one last question and then we will wind up. How can I assess binding selective of a drug to a gene? Mohan Priyan is
How
asking.
can I?
How can I assess binding selective of a drug to a gene? Assess.
For that, for that you have to perform, there are three types of docking. Okay, protein docking, protein DNA docking, and protein ligand docking. For that, you have to perform the protein DNA docking. You should, if you have known the structure of gene and you know the structure of ligand, you can perform your DNA ligand docking there too.
Thank you, ma'am. So we will be winding up this question answer session here. Last but not the least, now I would request our founder coordinator, Sir Argedeep Das, sir, to kindly propose the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir. Thank you. Argedeep, sir. Yes, sir, you're audible. Sir, you need to be a little loud. Your voice is cracking.
A very good evening to one and all. My heartfelt thanks to our eminent guest speaker, Dr. Arpana Parihar ma'am, And I thank you for accepting my invitation for the interactive talk come webinar. And it was an interactive and research oriented type of talk from a great Oman scientist. And the topic of your collection is so useful for students and researchers community, because nowadays computer aided drug design or drug development by using sophisticated trade system biology or bioinformatics, piece of stuffs are play a very major role for development the therapeutic drugs and for various type of cancerous or many type of disease, right? So it is a very important for the students who build the career in the scientific field. And you share your knowledge regarding the topic was so impressive and attractive, ma'am. And I guess all students and researchers are like your lecture. And um, it gives me and I mean, in 1 hour talk you give the insight awareness regarding the topic in very concise way. It is very a big thing. Literally I was enjoying it, and I learn a lot of things to boost up my knowledge, and I hope all are liking it too. And so thank you, ma'am, for sparing your precious time and share your knowledge with us. And big thank you for answering all the questions and interact with the students and researchers community. It was really a great experience, ma'am. And thank you. And it's give me an immense pleasure to deliver a vote of thanks to today's guest speaker, Dr. Arpana Parihar, and also all the participants. Once again, I thank you, ma'am, for such an interesting research-oriented talk. Your dedication and your work in field not only the science and also the betterment of scientific society, and and helping and society and helping nature. It's really a commendable and attractive. And hats off you, ma'am, as a woman scientist, and a long journey of your research is so impressive. I'm looking forward for your guidance in future too, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your giving a precious time. And now, and my heartfelt thanks to our organizer, event coordinator, Dr. Kavita Pal, Dr. Sudeep Das, Dr. Manupriya Barma, and our organizers, Miss Neha, Ananya, Devasri, and Mr. Shreyans, and my dear students and researchers. Thank you for joining and invest your precious time for listening the talk and support us. And last but not the least, on the behalf of Biosetup Life Science, I thank each and every person for contribution this webinar a successful one, and I'm looking forward for arranging many such events. Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, bye-bye. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, all my dear participants. I have shared the feedback link. A humble request to all the participants to please fill the feedback form and then exit the session. Thank you. I would like to inform all the participants